Hi, and welcome to the Sweet Life of Steve. Today we're making a barbecue dinner with pulled pork, braised collard greens, and cornbread. And no, it will not take all day. So now, disclaimer, I am from the true north, Canada, and barbecue growing up had a very different connotation. Up in Canada, barbecue is what we do on the grill, so you can have burgers or chicken or whatever. Down here, barbecue apparently is a religion. Also, disclaimer, we're gonna make all of this stuff in our Instapot. Please, haters, don't hate. This is gonna be a quick, easy dinner. Today, I'm making an orange crush shandy. Ooh, we're going to start with honey vodka from our friends at Blackwater Distillery. Yes, honey. About 1 ounce. That looks good. To that, I'm adding the juice of 1 orange. Fresh squeezed, of course, because why? Because I'm the Barefoot Contessa. Now, Dunt Sour from RAR. I love it because the tangerine notes will pair perfectly with the orange. Oh, who shook this up? PA Rob must have shaken it. Look at the head on that. Delicious. Cheers, queers. Did we get it? We're making cornbread, and there's some various schools of thought out there about what your cornbread should be. Myself, I like it a little bit on the sweeter side, but I also like one that's less cakey. There's some people that love a cakey cornbread, some people that don't. In my whole sort of north and south experience of my life, I've seen that up in the north, New York, Canada, corn muffins is like a breakfast thing, but down here in the south, corn muffins are a side dish. There's so much difference between the north and the south. All we really need is Kirstie Alley, and then we'd have a mini-series. Oh, Kirstie, she could use the money. This is a 2-stage mix method. Dry ingredients together, wet ingredients together, everybody together. Stir, stir, stir. I'm using all-purpose flour, and to that, I'm going to add sugar, yellow cornmeal, baking powder, and salt. These are my dry ingredients, and no need to sift them because we're going to whisk them all together. We want to make sure that everything is well incorporated because once we add our liquid ingredients, we're not stirring very much. There we go. Look at that. Whiskey, whiskey. Oh, speaking of. Oh, that's delicious. I've got some whole milk here. Now, remember, fat is flavor, but fat is also tenderness. So if you want a moister, lighter cornbread, make sure you use a full fat milk. I'm adding to that some canola oil. You want a neutral flavored oil. Grapeseed oil would work as well, but you can also experiment with vegetable oil or even olive oil. And 2 eggs. You want to make sure that your liquid ingredients are well incorporated. So here's my little trick. Quart container, shake it. Did it splash everywhere? I don't know. Pour that right on into our dry ingredients. And now we're gonna stir until it's just combined. It's okay if your batter is a little bit lumpy-dumpy. The more we over-stir, the more we risk developing gluten, and that's gonna make toughness. So, stir it just until it is moistened. At this point, if you wanted to do any add-ins like grated cheese, diced cooked ham, diced bacon, some jalapenos, some whole kernel corn, whatever you want, cooked onions, that would be the time to mix those into this batter. I've even put blueberries or blackberries in my corn muffins, and they're delicious. Important step, let this rest for at least 30 minutes. Overnight is actually best. That allows for the cornmeal to hydrate, to soak up all that good milk and that oil, and that will make for an even moister, lighter cornbread. Oh look, it's been about 30 minutes. I'm pouring this into a greased cast iron pan, but you can use any baking vessel you want. Remember, anytime you're baking in ceramic or metal, you want to adjust your heat. So we're baking at 325, not 350, until it's done. Let's go to the oven, shall we? Open up the oven. We'll see you when you're done. Let's pull some pork. Anything with pulling and meat sign me up. I've started with 8 pounds of a pork butt shoulder. I love how we call this the butt, but it's really the shoulder of the pig. Just give you a little
butt action. Butt.
I have cut this up into about 2-inch pieces. You need 0 butcher skills for this. Just hack at it like some sort of horror film guy. Leatherface? Is that Jason?
Chainsaw.
Oh, that's Chainsaw Math. Jason, is he the machete one?
Just hack at it like Jason. Okay.
I'm going to start with some water in the bottom of my pot because you don't want the meat to sit at the bottom. You'll risk burning. So I've got about a cup of water. You're just gonna put your meat into the pot. Be careful when you're handling your meat. The juices get everywhere. I'm going to create one even layer and then I will add some salt. And you're going to salt liberally. So, you know, don't sprinkle, just kind of dump it on in there. And we're going to create layers. Meat, salt. That's pretty much it. Just a little sprinkle-ish sprinkle, there we go. Keep on going. Get everybody into the pool. And I've even kept the bone. A little more salt. And keep on going. And you get the idea. There we go. To that, I'm going to add about a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half of liquid smoke. So this is sort of where I'm cheating. Yes, I know. I'm not going to get this gorgeous bark. I am not smoking this thing for 18 hours, blah, blah, blah. Love you if you do it, and I totally would. But ain't nobody got time for that today. I'm hungry. An hour and 20 minutes on the pressure cooking setting of my Instapot, and then we're going to let the steam release naturally. That lets it sit for about another 20 minutes or so, and then our pulled pork will be done. Ta-da! Set it and forget it. It smells amazing in here, and now it's time for me to pull out my meat. Where do we go from there? This is how I'm going to make my greens. I'm going to put them in the liquid from the pulled pork and then braise them in that. So I'm doing sort of a two-for situation here. And you'll see this just is gonna fall, ooh, it fell right off the bone, look at that. I'll also take a moment with my tongs and just kind of mix in here and sort of shred it a little bit because this is pulled pork, so now it's time to pull it. It is so tender, it's hot. Don't touch this too much. There we go. And just get everybody here, look at that. Look at how quickly that just falls right apart. Isn't that beautiful? Obviously, I've made a ton because I am a student of my mother. I don't know how to cook for anything less than an army. We'll definitely have leftovers. This makes great sandwiches. This makes great quesadillas. This makes great breakfast scramble. We've put it on pizza before. And I'm gonna drown this in a Carolina sauce that I made because Carolina is my favorite type of barbecue sauce. But of course, you can use whatever you like. This essentially is a blank vessel for dressing. And it doesn't matter if you don't get all of the pork out of the pot because I love having those little porky bits inside of my greens. And all of that is going to fit in here. Trust and believe. I have a chopped onion that I'm adding to the pork juice. And this is 2 pounds of washed, chopped collard greens. You can also use like a mixture of collard greens, mustard greens, kale greens, whatever you like. Yes, man. It's like confetti. Mash it down because of course, when the greens cook, they basically wilt away and turn into nothing. So all of this is gonna look like about this much when all is said and done. I'm gonna set it on my pressure cook setting again. 6 minutes, and I'll have my braised greens. Set it and forget it. So look at this spread. In the space of just a little over 2 hours, I've made dinner and drinks too. Look at this beautiful cornbread. It's got this golden crust on top. It's delicious. Took about 35 minutes or so in the oven. You can tell when it's done by it kind of springs back when you touch it. Pulled pork, cooked in the Instapot. I like it a little bit chunkier, so that's how we're doing that. Look at those. It's not easy being green. Let's make up a little plate. for PA Rob, husband Rob, everybody Rob. A little bit of this. And now this is Carolina sauce that I made. And I'm just gonna spoon some of that right over the top. Ta-da! Look at that! Mmm, yummy. Honey, dinner's ready. I feel like I should be wearing pearls or something.
Someone's dinner's ready.
Someone's dinner's ready. Look at that. So we've got cornbread.
My dinner, right? We
Who else are we gonna? Who else are we? No, we're gonna share this. We gotta share. Cornbread, pulled pork with Carolina sauce, and some greens. And you got your Shandy?
Yes.
Cheers. Mmm. Oh, Shandy.
Let's make a good clink.
I'm gonna have a vegetable. Mmm. What did you get? Took a bite of my meat?
The pork. It's delicious.
Yes, it is. You're right. Want some of the cornbread? I'm actually gonna just dip this right into this little sauce here. Saucy. Mmm. This is sweet. It's tender. It's not dry.
I thought you were gonna say just like you.
Oh, yes, you're right. It's sweet, just like you. For all these recipes, look in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, and let us know. How do you like your meat?